YouTube. This is Maddie, the Empty Nest Scrapper, and I'm here today with my very first installment of an organizational series for you. So this is not going to be a one-off like most of my videos. It will be different pieces of how I organize my space. By no means do I feel like I have information that is groundbreaking or that that there aren't other people who haven't discussed organizing in these ways before. And I have this beautiful binder here because it is one of my organizational tools and it's pretty to look at. But that's not going to be in this part today. This part today is going to be just a little bit of an overview and what I look at when I am looking to reorganize my room. Now, at this point, a lot of people are thinking about holidays. Holidays are coming up, and it's going to be Thanksgiving. It's going to be Christmas. It's going to be Hanukkah. And most people are not thinking about reorganizing just yet. However, for me, it's organization season, and I'll tell you why, and maybe it will be for you too for similar reasons. Last year, after the holidays, I was blessed with a lot of new crafty toys. And I did struggle quite a bit to find a place for my new toys. Now, I had a crafty wish list, so I did have some idea of what was coming. And of course, I did get some nice surprises as well. But I failed to think about where these items would be placed in my room. And for me, I like to swatch and place my items before I use them. So it really was a struggle before I got to play. And I don't want to do it that way again. I want to be ready and have a chance to play with my new toys when all the holidays are over. For me, it's a doubleheader because my birthday comes up right before the holidays at the end of November. So I doubly want to organize now so that I can play with my toys later. So although this is something we will look at in this series, what I want to do with you is talk about the overview of how I figure out where to put my crafty things and how I look at my space. So this ridiculous piece of paper is something that I used to help me figure out my space. So the two larger units on the outside are Iris container stacks, and they pull out. I'm sure you've seen them many times in other craft rooms. And the center is a smaller set of drawers. And you could see that I labeled what I had in those spaces, or what I wanted to keep in those spaces. And I had quite a few little empty drawers, which is always a joy because that is where your new toys go. On the other side is more of the storage in a different parts of the room. Those two silly cube sets on top represent my cube storage, which is not IKEA storage. And one of the things that you want to think about when you're choosing storage is measuring your space and measuring your units. So although those cube storage units are closet made and not 12 by 12, so they will not fit 12 by 12 papers, and they are a little bit smaller. When I measured my space, those were the storage units that fit. And that is something that is very, very important. Across down here, I have 2 other sets of those iris cases, and I've marked what I wanted to put in there. And this is a set of plastic drawers that I have under my desk, and this represents a just a bookshelf unit that I've repurposed to use in my room. So this ridiculous piece of paper was super useful last time I tried to put together my room in a functional way. So although the holidays coming up may be one reason to think about reorganizing, another reason is, how is the space functioning for you? Because this was not my only reorganization. I am sure you have reorganized your room multiple times as well. And one of the reasons being the space was not functioning for me. I did not have things right at my fingertips that I really would have preferred to have right at my fingertips. And I will give you an example of that. So this is a little unit that I made from little drawers that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. There are a million zillion YouTube videos on how to put this together. It is easy peasy. E6000, bing bang boom. You can make any configuration you want. I made this configuration because I have multiple black inks, and I have them for a reason. One of them is good for alcohol markers. One of them is good for watercoloring. One of them is more of a clear, sticky ink, that you use for embossing. These are the inks that I want at my fingertips all the time, because I may be using them on any project, be it scrapbooking, be it card making, be it art journaling. So this little ridiculous Dollar Tree thing I put together. I have a drawer with each of my favorite inks, and I can get to any one of them, and the re-inker fits as well anytime because I put it right on my desk. Previously, I had these inks stored with the rest of the inks that in that line, perhaps. Some of them I don't have any more in the line. I just have that particular ink. Versamark is different on its own. There is no line for it. But I did find that I was much happier when I had these inks available right at my fingertips. And it was just not useful. So that's an example of why you might want to reorganize your space, as I do much more often than I ever thought I would. The other thing is that you want to think about where your space is located. My space is in the basement, and for the most part, I am not all that concerned about it not being attractive enough because it is part of my living room or dining room or bedroom. However, I do not want it to be an eyesore. I want to be happy and joyful when I get there. So when I figure out my storage, I like to think about what is going to be useful, what is going to serve me well, and I also want to look at what is cost effective. If you have your space in the main living area, you may have different priorities, and you should keep that in mind. But for me, mostly my space is tucked away, and my main concern, although I want it to be happy and joyful, I do want it to be cost effective, and I also want it to be meeting my needs. So this little book here is a cute little Dollar Tree book, and it's just a pad that I keep in my drawer. And when I see items that I want, that's how I keep track of them. I have a list for crafty items that I would like to have. I have a list of projects I want to do, ideas for all different things, cards, journaling, scrapbooking, and YouTube series just like this. So this is another organizational tool that maybe you hadn't thought of, or maybe you're already doing it. So it's a simple thing, and something that is very, very satisfying. You just pick a page, doesn't have to be fancy, for me anyway, and you just jot down. So I just want to give you an idea of how I've used this book and how satisfying it is, because here I had this book since, I don't know, 2017, and I had a list of things that I wanted to do, and you can see things are crossed out, things are checked off, and it just is ongoing. And it's okay with me if I carry things over from year to year. I can see where I've come, I can see where I want to go, and I can see what I think is missing. And it just helps me move along. A lot of people talk about their crafty goals. So for me, if I am talking about my scrapbooks or my journaling, things that I want to do or try or accomplish, I guess this could be considered part of my goals. Not very fancy, not very sophisticated, but very useful for me. So, thank you for stopping by. I hope this gave you a little bit of an idea of how you might think about what you want to do with your space. Now I'm going to have to redraw this to see about changing my space and hopefully having a happy and healthy holiday. I hope you do too. So think about if you would like to come along with me on this organizational journey. Bye-bye, YouTube. See you next time.